For DARPA, harnessing the work of brain-machine scientists offers the hope of future military advantage.
And they're charged to perform research that results in new technologies that keeps America in the lead. That's the whole point.
Not all of DARPA's hunches have been right.
The most amusing one, if that's the right term, is the so-called gay bomb. And the idea was that you put in a bomb with particular chemicals that go into the brain and charge up the sexual appetite, the libido, so high that the soldiers are so busy raping each other they can't fire back.
Noch immer stehen viele Flieger am Boden. Gut eingepackt die Triebwerke, auch die Fahrgestelle. Damit keine Insekten oder Vögel am oder im Flieger nisten. Aber alle 3 Monate spätestens muss so ein Flugzeug fliegen. Kapitän Thomas Jahn bereitet einen sogenannten Bewegungsflug vor.
Das ist notwendig, da es Vorgaben gibt vom Hersteller. Wenn man sagt, die Maschine ist 3 Monate geparkt und soll danach wieder geparkt werden, weil wir ja nicht alle Flugzeuge momentan fliegen können, da muss ein sogenannter Non-Revenue Flight, also ein nicht gewerblicher Flug, durchgeführt werden mit einer Crew. Das machen wir.
Einen A350 fliegt Jahn warm, derzeit das modernste Passagierflugzeug von Airbus.
For Professor Miguel Nicolelis, the key to the human mind lies in studying some of our closest relatives. By implanting electrodes into the brains of monkeys, Nicolelis is able to eavesdrop on their thoughts.
We have been recording this every day for the last 5 years. So we have listened to this brain for the last 5 years. And every day we learn something new about how it is that it operates.
The mind control looks about like this hat I'm wearing. So if it comes around the side of the head a little more, and basically that's it. And it's got a wire. It comes down and has wristbands. They call that the stabilizers, and then it comes down to another wire to a black box that's like the battery slash receiver, or it may just be the battery. I'm not sure. But they usually clip that onto like a belt or something that they'll wear. Even if they're naked, they'll wear this so they can have the mind control and clip that battery onto them. I've seen one, and it has like a little green light, a little LED light on the side, like a meter, like a power meter or something like that. So that's the mind control, and it emits EEGs into the mind of the person wearing it. Depending on who they connect to multiple people. That's how they connect to targeted people, to mind rape target person. Some of them, sometimes they have eye covers, okay, that'll come down and cover their eyes, and it's an optional thing that they can use or not use, because sometimes they're just connected to other gang stalkers or other people, and they want to have mind control sex with them. So what that means is they have the other person's feelings and senses emitted into their mind. So while they're being intimate or while they're with each other, they can feel each other's senses and know each other's thoughts. Now, if they connect to a targeted person or remote neural monitoring, then they would use the eye covers usually, and so they can see the view in their mind of that person that they're connected to. So it's almost like they're living virtually as that person, because they'll have that person's thoughts emitted into their mind at the same time as seeing that person's vision with the eye covers on. They don't have to use the eye covers, but I imagine seeing 2 things at once, it gets confusing. So, and oftentimes they'll just be having sex with people while they're on mind control like that with the eye covers on. So I've seen in a lot of cases through broadcasts that these girls don't even know who they're having sex with, and they just have sex with whoever's having sex with them, and everybody just kind of wanders around in a mind control hive, and they all just fuck.
When you clone a brain, brainwaves, and it's more complicated than I'm describing, but you are able to see what the other person is saying, and you're able to hear what the other person's hearing, as well as influence them.
No touch torture is a whole new topic, a whole new category Most people don't believe it's happening. You can be tortured in your own home. No one will believe you. Your brain has been rewired to feel the other, I call it the empathy machine. We can overpower all senses. We can create false sense of touch, make you think ghosts are touching you. We can, create smells that aren't really there, tastes. So you can imagine all the trickery.
The world out there that we experience as out there is actually in here. What is Wi-Fi? It's information carried in radiation fields. But you get a piece of technology called a computer, and it will tap in to those radiation fields, and it will decode them into a form on the screen which is absolutely nothing like the field is in its prime form.
That plane looks like it's just hovering. It looks like a big one as well. Look at it, for real. It looks like it's just kind of hovering there. I almost want to stop on the side of the road so you can see.
It's a perfect weapon for a government.
To show that you could potentially fly an airborne platform over a building with electronics inside and produce temporary and in some cases permanent upset.
Your brain is remotely tied, the cerebral cortex is remotely tied to a supercomputer for life, which monitors and manipulates all electromagnetic activity of the victim's brain.
Linking brains to machines and creating machine brains. Is that something we can handle?
And we are doing exactly the same to create the reality we think is so real. We live in a sea of information, of possibility, of probability, just like Wi-Fi. And through what I call the biological computer, the decoding processes of what we call the body, we are decoding information from that Wi-Fi field and putting it on our screen, which exists in here.
If we have algorithms that stimulate the right things and give it the right data, they could reprogram you in a way without you even knowing it. So you think you're in control of your own will, but it's actually some evil AI or evil people controlling everything we do, and we're more like zombies.
I'm trying to come to a logical conclusion and be realistic about the situation. NASA put satellites into space, into orbit, and they know what technology is aboard these satellites. The government and all of the judges and lawyers and big businessmen and millionaires and athletes and even local drug dealers and police, and everybody knows about neural monitoring and satellite broadcast, EMF broadcast, neural monitoring, mind control. Everybody knows about it, and it's frustrating to be in this situation. You guys too, we're in this situation where we are victims of violent torture and abuse and neurological attacks and neurological and physical torture. And it's hard, man. It's hard to deal with these things. And I get, so I'm not gonna say that I'm desperate, okay? But I really hope that it doesn't have to come down to some crazy lunatic type of actions that have to be committed by some of us to try to gain freedom or peace. What is that saying? If you want peace, prepare for war. Because they're not gonna give you peace. And we might have to take it. We might have to take our freedom and our peace. And I don't like it. I don't like having to live my life every day wondering, am I gonna have to physically do something forceful to stop this torture and this violence? I don't see no judges helping me. I don't see no lawyers want to take my case. I don't see no police going over to the gang stalker's house or anybody else. I don't see it happening. And it's not something that I just started talking about last week. I've been talking about all this stuff publicly since 2015. That's 6 years online public. All right, and I've been filing police reports and writing all kinds of government agencies the whole time. The whole time. So I'm you know, I don't fear anybody or anything, but I'm afraid that something bad will happen, you know, to me, to my life over this. And I value my life, but I accept it. I accept the fact that I may die trying to seek freedom and peace and my pursuit of happiness and being outspoken against terrorism and slavery and all of this human trafficking and basically war crimes and terrorism. And basically it is supported by governments and government agencies, the powers that be, the ones that'll come kill you if you try to do something about it physically. They'll come kill you or take away your freedom. And then they'll try to railroad you in the judicial system, and it's corrupt. And I'm tired of it.
Targeted individuals find themselves thrust into this new reality against their will and without their permission. They have been linked to artificial intelligence supercomputers so that their brains can be modeled and mapped to the sentient world simulation. Their future experiences. This is something which the most prominent AI researchers consider to be the bottleneck which differentiates humans and AI. But just recently, the leader in the field of AI, Google's DeepMind, has come up with a way in which artificial intelligence can actually improve on its own without manual training and almost in an exponential way. And artificial intelligence learning and improving on its own sounds like a doomsday scenario out of a science fiction movie, but it looks like it will become a reality very soon and give us the initial promise of what AI was supposed to be.